Hello everyone. First off, thank you for deciding to watch our very first video of tabletop gameplay on the channel. That being said, we had multiple issues with equipment, mostly sound and video related, so bear with us while solutions for those problems are being implemented. I'm currently the only one filming, editing, and hosting games to record for the channel, so I'm juggling multiple hats and seeing what works and what doesn't. Constructive feedback is always appreciated, and if you like what we're doing and where we're going and want to see more, as always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and give us a comment for that engagement boost. I really appreciate it in advance. With that said, I hope you enjoy part 1 of Dawn of the Pox, our custom Necromunda narrative campaign.
Words cannot convey what I have just witnessed. No one in the Imperium would believe me had they not witnessed it themselves. There are so few witnesses left. I will try to convey what has transpired as best as I can, so that in the event that these records are found, some guidance or wisdom may be attained. What started as nothing short of an apocalypse. Our Imperium's beautiful planet Nephilim has been put to the balefires of the world, and if not stopped, nothing will remain of it. They found something here. Who found it, and what they found, I do not know. But there is no other reason for the happenings to occur here as they have, without something immeasurably valuable being uncovered from the planet itself. We first heard word of an incursion of Xenos in the city of Ezekiel, relatively a great distance from where here is the city of Tarvadunum. Not long after that, we were besieged. Clearly to me, it seemed one of these attacks was meant as a distraction, and since we were hit second, as far as I know, I believe the things that they were after is here. Worst of it were the demons. The bulk of their force, fetid creatures that spread plague and disease wherever they went. The Imperium must have anticipated this invasion, backing up the planetary guard for monstrosities of advanced ceremony, fighting each other. And though the combat waged seemed to favor the Imperium's forces, the stamina of the demon horde outlasted those of the Allies. The fighting withdrawal was made. Demonic forces took something with them that they could not get off world in the way that they had initially intended. The cargo vehicle left shortly after their spearhead departed, flanked by the rear guard. What remained we now face. Going through the Lexicanum, it is unlikely that what we are experiencing is that of pox that assails cities and underhives alike on other planets, but something more akin to what is referred to as the curse of unbelief. In layman's terms, a literal warp spawn viral contagion that has infected the vessels of the dead. If encountered, keep distance, go for the head.
Hey all, Taurus here. I will be doing some narration for parts of the video where the audio quality wasn't to the standard I would like. And the first of that is going to be the objectives. So far this campaign, the first objective that the players need to accomplish is finding and decrypting 3 cogitators that were randomly placed inside interval buildings on the field. This requires them to be within control range, which is 1 inch, and perform an intelligence check to determine if they succeeded or not. The first cogitator is located here in the cabin. The second cogitator is located here in this house structure, and the third is located in this manor. In terms of objective number 2, there are Poxwalker hive nests that the players will need to destroy as they come up randomly when the stealth meter reaches -3, and the d20 roll is between 16 to 20. The stealth meter is a function I had implemented to generate difficulty based on both the number of players on the table and player decisions. Essentially, some actions will require an initiative check, like double moving, in order to prevent taking a -1 to the stealth meter. And some actions just flat out generate a negative outcome, like firing a weapon without a silent keyword or using an explosive device. Once a Poxwalker hive nest is rolled high enough for it, a scatter dice and a D100 dice is rolled to determine the location of the nest. Generally, this is currently designed for large tables where the nests will spawn away from players so that they can sit and fester each turning point, where D3 additional Poxwalkers will be added to the pool on top of the D3 plus 3 initial pool when the nest is spawned. And for both the third and fourth objectives, 2 different sets of tokens can be sought out and obtained as an optional objective that can make traversing and defending from the Poxwalker horde a bit easier. The first 2 are repair kits and fuel for the Cargo 8 Ridge Hauler that is abandoned in the center of the field. The third is a specialized explosive charge that can be used to destroy a Poxwalker nest instantly rather than trying to use grenades or other explosive devices that can miss, fail to wound, or scatter. The final is specialized ammunition for the sentry turrets on the FOB, which is the large asylum on the furthest left side of the field. Once activated, the building itself can, once per activation, target enemy models and attack them using a heavy stubber profile. And so with that, the game begins. The big core component of this custom campaign is the scavenging system that I have implemented. It is a series of D6 rolls where by chance and luck alone, one can find anything from an unsuspecting piece of food to a full set of servo harness, depending on where they are searching and whether the building itself does not have a negative modifier to the roll for balancing. Our first player rolls very well for having that -1 modifier. If it was not in place, he could have potentially obtained some game-breaking items for rolling 2 6s in a row. He instead discovers a rather useful eviscerator for the Sisters of Battle proxy characters. Melee. Okay. We'll do another roll at a -1. 5. A 5?
Yeah, 6 now.
Okay. So that's still high tier melee. Give me another D6. 6. Alright. Well, that's half. So, you have found an eviscerator. Oh!
Eviscerator now? But you are not meeting the cheating allegation. No, figuring you won't.
So, apparently, it is ranged and melee. Because it has flamethrower attached to it.
Oh yeah. So my personal thing, polar bolt gun now has a flavor.
Our next player with second turn initiative decides to breach the blue low-income hab block. Since it was boarded up, he had to do a hard breach. The 2 types of breaching in this game are a soft breach, which essentially is an attempt to enter the building quietly at the cost of an action and an initiative check, or a hard breach, which is free but takes -1 from the stealth meter. Upon entering the building, I do a D6 check for potential threats being inside. On a natural 1, the building is empty and safe. On a 2, there is 1 Poxwalker. On a 3 to 4, there are 2. On a 5 to 6, there are 3. This time, there are 2 Poxwalkers that are shambling around inside the hab block. That will be a threat since the hard breach alerted them to the player's presence. After the combat inside the hab block was concluded, the player searched the rooms within. Scattered about the refuse was essentially a brochure of sorts that read, "Welcome Imperium's Elite to your authentic replication of ancient Terra's hab blocks. These hab blocks, while at the time were seen as affordable housing for low-income residents of Holy Terra, are now considered spacious and luxurious by today's Imperial standard. We welcome you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the recreated lives of those from ancient Terra. Feel free to enjoy the compact Aqua Spa, which is in direct view of one of Terra's now extinct but most beloved of flying creatures, the Phoenicopteriforms." After looking through the brochure, they notice an unsuspecting greasy bag, within which is a custom item and one of my favorites that I have implemented. A Karkin Bell 5-layer corpsey starchy hive wrap, which has a number of effects that can take place upon consuming. At this point, since the charge wasn't made, the zombie's going to turn around and move into engagement and charge, and this one's also going to charge, giving them advantage. So what we had happen here, 2 zombies charged in after a failed charge. One took him down, had a serious injury. The other one, coup de grace, respawn over here. One of them over here took a shot from the door, missed on a 1, and that's where we are currently at the pink house. So we had 2 charge in, 1 zombie kill, and then a bunch of misses. So, speaking of the Karkin Bell burrito item, here we had one player have their Cyber Mastiff search one of the crates by the barn. On a roll of 1, they had to use the oddities table, and on a roll of 3, obtained them the item Karkin Bell burrito. And for RP points, they had the Mastiff immediately consume the burrito to see what effects it would have. On a d6 roll, the Mastiff obtained the Gaseritis effect on a 3, causing the Mastiff to negatively impact the stealth meter by 2 due to flatulence, and subsequently causing a stealth failure, causing D3 zombies to show up on the board edge from the noise. The D3 roll was a 2, and so 2 Poxwalkers showed up behind the Mastiff since they were still close to board edge from the corner. Zombie charged, attacked, wounded, dog safe. Next, our player with the Sisters of Battle proxies hard breached the cabin and discovered inside that there is one of the cogitators they need to decrypt with a successful intelligence check to obtain a key. In the same turning point, the Imperial Guard proxy team moves in to breach the next hab block. Inside, they discover the repair kit, one of the items needed to repair the cargo-way bridge hauler and get it moving again. They also search the building and end up rolling on the equipment table to obtain some mesh armor. Back at the cabin, the sisters manage to successfully decrypt the cogitator on the first try. Had they been unsuccessful, they might have tripped an alarm to alert some of the traitor forces still lingering in the area. The other character manages to search the cabin and obtain a wild bow from the oddities table, which is a good weapon in this scenario since the silent keyword prevents them from receiving negative stealth meter impacts from shooting. In addition to getting to roll on the scavenge table, this particular building has a narrative piece attached to it, but upon searching the cabin, the following occurs. Upon inspection of the homestead, the corpses of a male and female were uncovered. They were stashed away in the sub-room of the house, closed off in a way that they would not be immediately discovered. Their bodies have already rotted and decomposed at such a rate that would indicate that these people were killed weeks before the demonic incursion. Further inspection unveiled a basement that had the entrance concealed behind a false wall. Within the annals of the basement, a cavern was manually dug out, and a shrine had been installed upon the walls that clearly displays heretical sigils and texts in an unknown language. There is a leather-bound book on the altar. The player is then given the options to either decline or to proceed with the ritual. In this instance, they do decide to throw caution to the wind and proceed with the ritual. Upon inspecting the book, there appears to be more of the unreadable script inscribed upon the pages. The longer you look at them, the clearer they somehow become, as if they are translating in your mind's eye into a discernible language. He reads the text out loud. From the flesh we call, through the veil we tear, spirits unchained, breathe madness and flare. In union profane, soul and demon entwine, let mortal coils shatter like a warp align. As the last words leave his lips, two blades appear on the altar, imbued with heretical sigils, the same as the ones painted upon the cavern walls. It was as if they were always there, and you just couldn't see them before. Would you like to take them? The player then proceeds to take the knives. As you pick up the two whisper-bane knives, the walls begin to shift and move. Black holes appear as the material the walls were once made of dissolve in an instant. Within the black, dark murmurs and inhuman moans begin to bleed outward into real space. Pale, pallid humanoid shapes lunge from the darkness and assail the character. This was a very unlucky roll for the player, as on a D3 roll the value it landed on was a 3, spawning 3 heavily mutated cultists that immediately charged into combat. The initiative reset inside the cabin when the cultists arrived from the warp. The player won initiative after a contested reroll. The player fought twice with the newly acquired Whisperbane knives and missed every attack. One of the cultists returns a fight, hits once, but fails to wound. The player's second character swings into one of the cultists with an eviscerator, hits once, but also fails to wound. After the players spend their fight, the next cultist in line swings in, hitting, wounding, and with a total of 3 injury dice being rolled, outright killed the character. The last cultist decides to go after the second player character and performs another instant kill. The player respawns on board edge with both characters retaining starting information. The player then decides to search the barn after the Mastiff charges in and takes care of the zombie. The player discovers an ammunition cache inside the barn, which will allow them to replenish the ammunition in a weapon that they failed an ammo check on for free. This is important since all weapons in this campaign begin with the scarce keyword. The Arbitrator and Mastiff move to avoid the situation in the cabin. The player that was eliminated in the cabin decides to attempt to reclaim lost equipment. Note that the decrypted key is not lost as a part of the respawn process. He then proceeds to shoot into the cabin through the threshold of the door and misses. The cultists proceed to exfiltrate the cabin and find fresh victims, and find themselves face to face with the sisters that attempted to shoot them through the 2 doorways earlier and proceeds to eliminate them once again. The Arbitrator decides to use a fragmentation grenade against the 3 cultists on the back porch of the cabin. He misses, but the scatter die places it dead center, but the grenade still fails to wound any of the cultists. As the Arbitrator was attempting to cross the main road, one of the Creed characters takes a shot with a sniper rifle at the cultists. The shot misses, and instead hits the Arbitrator due to rolling a 2 on the stray shot test. As well.
Wow.
Chase, I am so sorry.
I'm glad that.
So there you have it, our first video on YouTube. This has been quite a learning experience with every facet of the process, from filming to editing to publishing. There were definitely plenty of mistakes made, plenty of malfunctions compensated for, and plenty of room for improvement on the next project. With that being said, I do hope you still enjoyed the experience, and I hope to see you all in the next journey. Thank you for watching.